It's time for the View in Your Mirror podcast. I'm Katie Harms, and along with Lisa Rubin, we help you check in and curate the best possible you and the best view in your mirror. We share tips, tricks, and strategies from our 35 plus years in our respective industries. We talk about your day from morning to night and everything in between. We share our uniqueness, relish in our shared experiences. Along the way, we share conversation with fabulous people who give us their own thought-provoking insights. So come along as we help you hone the best view in your mirror. Oh, Lisa.
Good morning, or actually it's good midday, Katie. We're recording in the middle of the day.
It is. We are, and we're back to recording. It's been a while since we've done a Zoom podcast, and we are excited to be here. I am so excited about this podcast. We have Maha Abouelenein joining us, and I've been practicing her name, so I hope I got it right. But she is a powerhouse and a force to be reckoned with, and excited to talk to her. And we watched her with Deepak Chopra the other day, and they were talking all about AI and all of that, and so interesting. And the world of AI, have you gotten into it?
I'm trying, Katie. I'm trying. I have used it, but I don't know the right questions to ask.
Well, listen, here's what I think we should do. I think we should meet up at Rustica Bakery, and I think we should have our iPads, and we should do a little AI short course and have some fun playing with it, because truly, I think the only way that you can learn AI is to do AI, is to practice and get used to it. But while we're at Rustica, and we'll have to decide if we're going to go Southdale or if we're going to go Bede Makaska. Both of them have great parking. You know me, I'm all about the get in, get out efficiency. And both of them have great menus, and both of them have the amazing scones. Both of them have cookies. And every time we do this, I get hungry.
I'm so hungry right now because, it's not our normal time that we're recording. We're kind of recording around at lunchtime. Yeah. So like you're saying all these things and my stomach's gurgling.
Well, and I want to put a quick shout out to, Jester Concepts is the umbrella that owns Rustica Bakery, other restaurants, and they open Mirabelle and Excelsior, and it's wonderful. It's just such a beautifully done restaurant. So I was there for an event in their back room. I'm excited to go there for dinner, but I want to give them a plug. It's just beautifully done. So, but rusticabakery.com, you can get an idea of what they have, but you're going to want to do that. And while we're there, Lisa, we're going to talk about AI. But what I decided to do, ask ChatGPT, what would Lisa Rubin tell me to wear today?
Oh, what did they tell you? I want to know if I have a friend. If
you no longer have a job. I don't know, right?
Oh, throw that one out there, right?
All right. If Lisa were dressing you today, she'd start with the foundation. Fit and comfort first. Lisa would remind you that the right fit is non-negotiable and you should feel pulled together and able to move easily. That means no tugging, twisting, or fussing once it's on. She would tell you to dress for today's story. She'd ask you what you're doing, who you'll see, and how you want to feel. If it's a day of errands and casual meetings, she might go for bottoms, dark tailored jeans or ankle pants, top, a well-cut knit or blouse in a color that lights up your face, layer a structured jacket or cardigan that instantly says, I'm intentional, even if you're just grabbing coffee. If it's more of a polished day, clients, events, or lunch in a nice spot, she'd swap jeans for slim trousers or midi skirt, add a silk blouse, and bring in accessories that look intentional but effortless. Shoe wisdom. Lisa always considers where your feet will be. If you'll be walking a lot, she'd choose a stylish flat or block heel. If it's a desk and meetings day, a sleek loafer or ankle boot could work. And finish with your signature. She'd tell you to add something that feels uniquely you, maybe a bold earring, a scarf, or a statement belt. That's what makes it a Lisa Rubin approved look instead of just an outfit.
Wow.
Are you a little shocked?
So I want to know what prompts you use for that.
But
We can talk about that when we go to Rustica. I think that's quite cool. I don't agree with all of it,
all right.
but that was very cool. Like
Uh,
that kind of blows me away. I need
well, it's a little
processing
frightening.
time.
I gotta say, it's a little frightening. I went on, and I'm just a little bit mortified right now that it didn't all print. So let me see here if I'm going back to so I can get the rest of it.
I
So
mean, did you
yeah,
put
so
in my
no.
website or what did you put in to
No,
have
see,
them not?
no. What this does, and this is what's interesting, and this is, remember, this is what Deepak Chopra talked about. Every single bit of information that's out in the world on Deepak Chopra is in AI. So if he's had an interview, it goes into AI. Anything that's out there in the world is in ChatGPT or in AI, right? I happen to use ChatGPT. There's other models. And so it's pulling from things that you've said and putting it together. That's why if you go to Deepak Chopra's app, you're going to be able to ask for, I asked the app to give me a, what do you call what you're supposed to do? A
Meditation.
meditation. Give me a meditation, Deepak. And Deepak Chopra said and told me, gave me a short meditation to do. So all of these things are in there based on information that's out. So probably if our podcasts were transcribed and put into AI, a lot of this would pull from the podcast. But I said, so I asked, what would Katie Harms say about how you arrange your closet? Katie, we're weighing in on the closet. You get a functional spaces for intentional living pep talk with a little wink and probably a story about a client who finally stopped keeping her prom dress from 1978.
I just saw that the other day when I went into a new person's closet. She had her prom dress
Hanging in her closet.
hanging in her closet. She is
All
in
right.
her late 50s.
Okay.
It
Okay.
actually was in pretty good shape, and she could have, she won't wear it to prom, but we could
All
have shortened it. We could have
right.
done things, but it doesn't fit her anymore.
Well, that's impressive. Okay. So ChatGPT says that I would say create zones like you're running a shop, tops together, bottoms together, jackets, sweaters, groups, shoes visible, not buried. If you can't see it, you won't wear it, she'd say. Accessories displayed so they invite you to wear them, not tangled in a bin. Lighting and visibility are everything. Rotate seasonally, edit with intention, not guilt. It was really quite amazing and shocking. And shocking, my friend.
And you agreed with a lot of what they said.
I agree with a lot of what they said. Hmm. Yeah.
Very interesting. I would have never thought to do that about myself.
Okay. I mean, I think it gives you shortcuts and I think it's a lot of fun. And I think from a business standpoint, and I'm sure a lot of your clients are using this, right? Speaking of your clients, what kind of interactions do your clients have? Have you ever had a client meet a president?
Several.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, I've had to help many clients, whether they were going in the White House, whether they were going to an event that required a certain type of dress code, whether they were in inaugural balls, which I've done several times. And there's a lot of, in the earlier days, there were a lot more rules. Yeah. I actually know a lot of the etiquette for a lot of things. I've had a client that had a private dinner with Prince Charles. And so we had to figure that out. I mean, I've had some very cool, unusual moments where I've had to help clients be dressed in a certain way, but still be who they are, right?
Right.
It can't be something that they're not, because if they show up in clothes that they're not going to show up as themselves. So it's this fine teeter-totter seesaw that you have to walk. And that's kind of the psychology of what I explained to them.
Well, this is very interesting too, is the type of client that you're dressing for these occasions. This is just going to be one of the things that they do in their professional life. Now, I'm sure some of them have got to have like a little bit of jitters when it gets to that level, but they probably
Yeah.
don't have jitters about what you're helping them put together because that's what they know you to do.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the clients that I have helped over the years, most of them have told me or they've sent me pictures after, and then I have to delete them right away because they're not supposed to be, taking pictures, whatever. But they have all said that the biggest thing for them is when they walked into the room for the first moment, what they had on, they didn't have to think about. They weren't pulling at things. They weren't going in the mirror ahead of time. The only thing that maybe they were upset about was if they were in a very humid climate and they had long curly hair and their hair got frizzy, that might have bothered them. But other than that, they felt really confident in what they were wearing. And the shoes are a big deal in so many different ways. So I don't want them to trip and fall. I want them to walk in the room and they don't look clunky. And then if there's going to be a bunch of women in the room, the shoes are a big deal. Like, make sure what shoes you have on. That's how you start conversations with strangers for women versus with women. So,
Have there ever been any clothing emergencies? Like
oh my God, yes.
their clothes never arrived or
Oh, please. We could have 3 podcasts on that. Yes.
really?
Oh my God. I have some really funny stories too, but we
Okay,
don't have time for that.
give me one. Give me one short, funny story.
Well, I've told it on an earlier podcast. So remember back in the day when it was pleated skirts all the way around,
Yes,
long pleated skirts,
yes.
and a client was going to a very, very, very important meeting to sell a big deal, right?
They're
And so
back, by the way. Pleated skirts are back in.
yes, I know, but they sew it on the bottom for packing, right?
Yes.
And we were downtown. This was back when I was working at FYI Dayton's. Okay. So we got to go back, but it's still the one that I say all the time. And she worked downtown. She had this big meeting. She had her whole outfit on. We got it all set up with hair, the whole thing. And she calls me and she goes, Lisa, you didn't tell me I can't walk in this skirt. I go, what are you talking about? But I knew exactly what the problem was. And she just worked like across the street from Dayton. So I said, come over here. Let me just check. And if it's a real problem, although I knew what the problem was, I'll get you something else. Don't worry. So she comes over, but she literally is walking like a turtle. And I'm seeing her come down the escalator. I'm waiting for her. I know which way she's coming. And she's looking at me. She is so pissed. And I look at her and I'm like, Mary, come in here. I just want to take care of something. And she doesn't say a word to me because she's still so pissed. And I had a scissor in my pocket. So we go into the dressing room and I clip the thread of the scissor and I pull the thread out. And I look at her, I go, now start walking. And we just started laughing. I mean, to this day, that must have been, I don't know, 25 years ago.
I love that
We were laughing till we couldn't breathe.
I love that you didn't tell her on the phone you have to cut that you didn't just give her the answer.
I made her because she was a brilliant, smart woman. And I knew that I could do it really fast and nothing would happen.
Well, you certainly
and we still talk about that.
You certainly solidified why she needs you.
But that's just one story that I'll never forget. But I've had other major, like pants slitting, and they're on the plane and the pants slit and, they had a certain blazer, but they had backup and I knew what their backup was. Like, what are they going to do? They have to go to this meeting. I'm like, then take the longer blazer. Cause I always recommend for women to have a short blazer and a long blazer just in case when they're traveling. So, that's
so you're set up for that.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, preparation, right? That's the key in all of this. Lisa, before we talk about Maha, I want to talk about something that you've turned me on to, which is beam light therapy.
Yeah, I'm totally obsessed.
It's beamlightsauna.com to get more information on this. If you want information, we've been to the one in St. Louis Park on Excelsior Boulevard. We've met Dave, the owner, and his staff. They're all exceptional. And I mean, the transformational benefits that you can get out of this: detox, muscle recovery, skin health, deep relaxation, ignite your metabolism. Who doesn't want that as we're going through all the shifts, menopause and oof, all that fun stuff. So something worth checking out. Something
I'm
worth,
going today, Katie.
all right, fantastic. Let's go back to our guest. I want to introduce her properly. Maha Abouelenein is the CEO and founder of Digital and Savvy, and she is the author of 7 Rules of Self-Reliance. She's an entrepreneur, a best-selling author, a speaker, and the host of Savvy Talk podcast. She's a strategist, best-selling author, entrepreneur. She's got more than 3 decades of experience. She's educated in the United States to Egyptian parents, so she's at home both Western and Arab worlds, offering a global perspective that translates into her work. She serves as a bridge between culture, providing invaluable support to companies and high-profile executives. And she's a sought-after strategist, right? And speaker who shares her expertise on personal branding, reputational management, modern communications, and the transformational power of storytelling. She was honored as one of the most influential women in Dubai, named one of the most impactful Egyptians, and nominated as one of Forbes' Power Women of the Middle East. In the US, she was named by PR News as one of the game changers in the PR industry and one of Minnesota's leading women in business by the Minneapolis-St. Paul Business Journal. She's a contributor to Forbes and Entrepreneur magazine. She also publishes a weekly newsletter, Savvy Talk, and hosts Savvy Talk podcast, where she engages in thought-provoking conversations with industry leaders. So we get to ask the questions this time, and I'm so excited to have Maha join us today. Maha Abouelenein, did I get it right?
You did actually.
Okay, thank you so much. I've been practicing.
Hard. It's a hard one.
Well, I heard you say it on your book
Yep.
that I've been listening to
Oh,
on,
good. That's actually smart. I didn't think of
yes, online. So, or
that. On Audible.
on Audible. Thank you. Thank
Yep.
you. Lisa's been reading cover to cover. So we're doing our homework, and listen, we're going to stay low and keep moving on this interview, which is going to be hard for me as a 6 foot tall woman to stay low, but I'm going to do my best
Yes.
to stay low. All right. We did our introduction of you before we got you on. We can't tell you how thrilled we are to have you here with us and to know you're so close, our fellow Minnesotan.
Yes. I'm so proud to be from Minnesota. Actually, so many people, I was born and raised here in Minnesota, in Mankato, actually, a really small town, the home of Laura Ingalls Wilder from Little House on the Prairie. When I say that, people are like, oh, I heard of Mankato on that show. But yeah, I mean, Minnesota has been so good to me. It's a great place to grow up, a great place to live. And I left Minnesota for 23 years and I came right back home. And I've been here since the pandemic in 2020. And I'm so grateful to be back here. I'm so close to my sister and her family. So it means a lot to me. It's where I built my life and my parents built a life, and Minnesota's home to me.
Amazing, amazing. Well, you've spent much of your career behind the scenes,
Yes.
strategically making other people shine. Now you've got a book,
Yep.
stepped forward, and your brand yourself, you've had to think of this differently, right? How has the shift moving into forward facing changed your business and the kind of clients you're
Yep. Great
yeah.
question. Yeah, I mean, so most of my career, for those listening, I do communications and PR. So I am the person behind the scenes, helping clients tell their stories, build their brands, announce their projects, build their profiles, build their relationships, build their partnerships. And when I came to do this book, it was the first time I had sold anything myself, first of all, direct to consumer. And I had to be the person kind of out there selling the book. I had no idea the whole process of, writing a book. I thought the publisher did everything. Well, no, like the author is the one who has to sell the book and be the front person for the book. So I have to promote it. I have to speak on stages. I have to do interviews. And I spent my whole life behind the camera or behind the scenes or backstage. And now I'm sitting in the chair getting interviewed. And, because my career kind of built me for that, I had all the best training in the world because I would do it for clients. I knew what to expect. I knew how to handle situations. I had all the relationships. So that helped me tremendously. But it did feel awkward, doing all the things for myself, pitching myself or having my team pitch me. But, it's now advice that we give to clients. And I don't recommend to do anything for a client that I haven't done for myself or for my team. You do need to build the personal brand, and it isn't about me. It's about how can I help people communicate better? How can I help market my firm? How can I help market the work that we do for clients? And in fact, when I started doing all these interviews, I'm with Gail King on CBS News, and I did this live event with the Washington Post and the half-page thing in there. It really showed my clients, oh, this is what she does. And wow, if she can do that for herself, imagine what she can do for me. So, to our surprise, it ended up being something that attracted a lot of new clients to us because they're like, wow, her book launch was hands down one of the most incredible campaigns we've seen, because we really wanted to also raise the bar for ourselves, because we're like, what if we don't do a good job for our book, then the clients won't come to us. But we were like, okay, the publisher would say you need to do 4 things to have a successful book launch. We were doing 10. I was like, we are not sleeping. We are going to put our head to the, our pedal to the metal, and we're going to do online campaigns and live events and bookstore events and college tour. And so I wanted to be in the kitchen myself. I wanted to know, what does it take to launch a book so that I could do it for clients and other people at that scale. We had launched like 4 or 5 books before doing mine. And then after we did mine, we got a lot of clients. So one, it helped me learn a lot about the process. It helped me learn a lot about myself. How can I push myself? What am I capable of doing? I had to learn new skills. I had to do marketing, because I don't do a lot of marketing for my firm. It's mostly referrals and people coming to us through word of mouth. So it was incredible experience. So grateful for everything that we learned, but being on both sides, behind the scenes, in front of this, in the front of the scenes, it gave me a lot of empathy for what the clients go through and how we can make their experiences better and help them learn how to do this process as well for themselves.
Incredible. Incredible. Well,
Yeah.
and I think that Minnesota work ethic came through loud and clear.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I think it's also my parents, the way they raised both me and my sister, to really put our heads down, put in the hard work, put in the effort, not be shy about taking on challenges that we never felt comfortable doing. It's one of the lessons in the book is like, if not me, who? And if not now, when? Like, if I'm not going to do it, who's going to do it? I can do it. Why can't I do it? And if not now, when? Because of rule number 3 in the book, it talks about not being a waiter. It's like, don't wait for something because you're waiting for permission from somebody, or you're waiting for someone to anoint you. Like, now is the time. Like, you have to step into it. You need to step up and grab it. And you need to figure out, what are the things you're missing to do what you want to achieve. Are you missing skills? Then go get those skills. Are you missing experience? Go get that experience. So
I need to hear that today.
yeah,
that was one of the rules that I read about, that I went and did something I had never done before. So
yeah, that rule of don't be a waiter, just to tell everyone who's listening about it, it really hit me. Somebody told me I was a waiter, and I was kind of pissed. I was mad. I went home that night. I'm like, oh, actually, I kind of am. Like, I'm not that I'm unhappy. I'm just waiting for things to happen to me. I think things are going to come to me because I deserve them. And Halle Berry, when she read the book, she said, Maha, that was the chapter that got me. Like, even Halle Berry, like, it was like, a lot of times we're just kind of waiting. We're waiting in the back seat, and we're not taking that front foot forward. So I think that's a lot about that rule gets a lot of people, because we are waiting because we don't want to fail in front of other people. We're waiting for permission from others. We're waiting because we fear failure. We're waiting because we don't want people to judge us. We're waiting because we want to wait until we lose 10 pounds. We're waiting until we have more money in the bank account. We're waiting until we get that promotion. Like, just don't wait. Like, honestly, that's a big thing. I always clock even myself till today. Like, I'm like, I want to get an investor for my company. Well, I'm waiting until I get, things together. And then I was like, I'm not going to wait. I'm just going to go for it. And that's what I want to encourage people to do.
Love it.
Yeah. And I also think for someone like myself, who's been doing my career for over 40 years now, and I think back to all the different steps of my career, when I read that in your book, and what I want to achieve even at the age I'm at now, what am I waiting for? Like, is it that I'm afraid of this, or what am I doing? And technology happens to be one of my things that stops me, right? Because I'm not good at it. So I did a little something for myself through technology. I'm like, oh my God, I did that. I'm so proud of myself. I did that. But it was like just a little step until I can go to the next step. So
yeah. But also, I think the part you keep telling yourself you're not good at technology, then your body's going to believe that, right? So you need to like think about, you're not good at technology yet, or maybe you're good at stuff you just don't know because you haven't tried it yet.
Right.
So many things that I faced in my life, which is in this book, is I didn't think, I got asked to write a speech for the Prime Minister of Egypt. I'm like, I'm not a speechwriter. I'm like, well, how do you know? No one's ever asked you to write speeches for the Prime Minister of a country before. And then when I did it, I'm like, I guess I'm a speechwriter. And I bring that example I think I opened the book with that story because I want people to know, like, so much in life, we haven't been asked to do it. And so you think you can't do it, or you're not capable of do it, or you can't learn it. And we've never lived in a better time to be alive. We have access to more information at our fingertips than ever before. I can see somebody's morning routine and what they're eating and how they're investing their money and I can learn anything about anybody at any time. And we never had that access before. And so it's up to you to take advantage of that access. Even with all the stuff that's coming with AI, like I was reading yesterday, it's like the only way to get good at AI is to play around with it and to try it. You can't learn about it by just observing it. You have to be in the kitchen.
Yes, you said that yesterday, and that hit me too. And, Lisa and I talked earlier about what you can do with AI. And I literally asked ChatGPT, how would Lisa tell me to dress today? And then I said, how would Lisa or how would Katie talk about organizing your closet space, right? The area that I'm in is functional spaces. So it's amazing. It's
Love it.
crazy. I said, it's a little scary. We might not have jobs, but I love what Deepak said yesterday was you hire the people for the things you don't want to do. And then you work on and get expert at the things you do want to do, which is so true. So
well, that's why people hire me.
Exactly.
That's so true.
That's why I've been in my business all these years. They don't want to do that. They want someone else to help them with that. So that makes total sense.
Yeah.
So you've had such a rich and varied career. What early experiences shaped your belief in self-reliance as a superpower? Like, what is your own personal superpower, do you think?
Yeah, honestly, so I think networking and dealing with people is my superpower. Like I love spending time with people. I like helping them learn and grow and build relationships and add value to them. Like for me, it's people above all else, including like my family and my business relationships. Like I'm just diehard on that to the nth degree. I think what shaped me in self-reliance, I didn't know I was self-reliant. I didn't really have that term in my vernacular before a couple of years ago. But when I thought about all the things I do, I thought that's what I labeled it after the fact is my dad. I mean, I talk a lot about my dad in the book. I talk a lot about my relationship with him. He was an educator. He basically shaped a lot of who I am and how me and my sister operate and how we live our lives of investing in ourselves and being, my dad used to always say, like, no one can take away what's between your two ears. Like, they can take away your dignity, they can take away your power, they can take a lot of stuff. But if you are smart and knowledgeable, no one can take that away from you. And that's how you'll have a competitive advantage in life. And that was what shaped me.
You speak of your parents a lot, and you chose to care for them.
Yeah.
For many years through
most of my life.
Most of your life. So when you look at that and you look at that part of your life and what you gained out of that, right? You gain out of every experience you have, the good and the bad, right? There were a lot of really hard experiences that you go through. How did you translate all of that into, okay, well now I need a career. Now I've got to shift to doing something differently.
Yeah, I mean, my mom got sick when I was 14, and an age where you're the teenager and your parents are supposed to be taking care of you. So before I go to school, making sure she got up, she got dressed, I brushed her teeth, combed her hair, made her breakfast before I went to school and had to come home during lunch hours and stuff to take care of her and make sure she was fed and she was she needed help with things. and that teaches you a lot when you're at a very young age. You have to be responsible and you have to be the parent. But when I started working, I was working while I was taking care of my mom. My dad hadn't gotten sick at the time when I started my career. But I think in taking care of my parents, I did what they tell you to do on the airplane is put your own mask on first, right? And take care of yourself. So I had to go to work. I wasn't like I can take care of my parents and then start my career. I had to do both at the same time. I had to like work, get up early, go to school, come home, take care of my mom. Then it was get up early, take care of my mom and dad, put a system in place so they had caretakers during the day when I was at work, and then monitor that all during the day when I was at work, and then come home from work and then have night shifts. And, I was for many years waking up every 2 hours to shift them from their bed sores until my sister was like, we should just get night nurses. Like, this is ridiculous. You're not sleeping. And I'm like, actually, we should. And so then we started getting 2 shifts 24-hour nursing for my parents, 3 shifts, 8 hours a day. I mean, I ran like a little company at home. I had 16 people in my house at all times. I mean, it was insane. But it was just one foot in front of the other. Just, you got to do what you got to do. You got to get a system at home so that you can go to work because you're paying for the bills. You're making all the medical decisions. And I had a thriving career. Like when I went to work, I was delivering at work. I wasn't not doing my job, but I learned how to do both. And, you're young. And so you're just kind of burning the midnight oil, thinking you can just get it all done. And so I just did it. I don't know how I did it. I don't know if I could do that ever again, but I feel like God never puts you in a position to do something you're not capable of doing. And I just was like, I'm going to get some systems, I'm going to get some help, and I'm going to do the best I can. And some days I wasn't having a good day, and some days I wasn't capable, and some days I wasn't in a good mood, or I wasn't happy, or I was emotionally just tapped out. And so it was like, oh, call my cousin. Will you come watch for a couple hours? I really need to go to the gym. I need a break. Or if the nurses were there, making sure that they knew what they were doing so I could leave. So obviously it taught me a lot about entrepreneurship, about how to like put together a team of people to help you. But being at home with my parents is where I learned how to add value. And when I learned how to like do something small for my dad that made his day, I was like, I wonder if I could add value to my clients or add value to my colleagues. And so I learned all that stuff, which was during the hard stuff at home. And then I took it into the rest of my life.
Translating those systems. I mean, I think that's another superpower is setting up systems.
I'm not good at systems. I'll tell you that now in my company. Like I have people who are good at systems.
Well,
I'm good at setting the vision and the ideas, but I will like, and everyone in my family will tell you I'm not a systems person. I'm the fun one. I come up with the ideas. I can organize big level things, but I'm not the systems person.
Well, that makes sense. You need the operations person to run it for you.
Yeah, exactly. I have a high level of self-awareness. Like I know what I'm really not good at, and systems are not. I'm getting better, but it's not my thing.
But don't you think that everything that you just talked about has set you up to be who you are today and gave you all the skills and strengths to even come up with writing this book? Like if that would have happened to you,
100%.
You probably wouldn't be where you are today.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I don't underscore the fact that that contributed a lot to my growth and my development, and doing hard things makes you better in every sense of your life and every aspect of your life. But you don't know the lessons when you're in it. You only know it after you get through it.
Very true. Very true.
Very true. Very true. Well, and things shift so quickly, right? So now we've always been working in technology. You've always been working in technology, right? But it feels like with AI coming on strong again, so the world's overflowing with information, right? So how do you cut through all the noise to make your message stick?
Yeah. I mean, it's a great point. I mean, I did most of my career was in tech companies. I worked for a telecom company. I worked for Google. I worked for Netflix. I worked for Uber, Karim in the Middle East. So I worked for a lot of tech companies. And I think when I look at where technology is serving us today, it has a big impact on my business and storytelling, especially because consumers are no longer just consuming things on their televisions, right? They're doing things on YouTube, they're on social media platforms, they're on Reddit, they're on Substack, they're consuming content in very different ways. And so when you are doing communications or telling stories, you have to make sure that you are going where your customers are or where consumers are consuming it. And think about your own behavior. Like I grew up watching CBS Evening News with Dan Rather. Like I grew up having that appointment television of watching the evening news, which a lot of people don't do that anymore, or wait for that newspaper to hit their their front door and read that paper. So I think just thinking about technology for my business has been a seismic shift, and we live in a real-time world where you have to react to things in real time and communicate in real time. And if there's a crisis and you don't respond in real time, that creates a lot of problems for companies because it leads to misinformation and rumors, and something could go viral out of your control. So I think it has a profound impact on how we use it. And my company specifically, like we are deeply entrenched in AI and how we can use it for our business and for operations and systems that we're not good at. We're trying to automate those, and also in how we serve our clients using the tools that are available to us.
Was there a fear of it when it really first started coming on?
No,
I feel like you don't fear anything.
No, not that I don't fear anything. No, I fear plenty of things. Trust me, I'm afraid of a lot of things. But the
Like
technology is
what?
not one of them. I don't know. I'm afraid of like markets and conditions and the environment and like all these other factors that could impact our business. Like I'm afraid of people using technology for bad instead of technology for good. And Deepak Chopra said it on our session. He's like, you can use a knife to cut somebody open to heal them for surgery, or use a knife to kill somebody. So I feel like, technology has that same kind of double-edged sword to it. I don't know where I was going with this, but anyways, what I was going to say was,
I derailed you. I'm sorry.
no. I was just inspired by what you were talking about, there's a lot of things to be afraid of, but I think, this one, I'm not afraid of the technology because I feel like there's so many advantages to using it and so many advantages for people to build and scale their businesses and economic opportunities. Like when the internet came on, it created a ton of jobs, and I think AI will do the same thing.
Yeah. All right, Lisa, have you seen, this is a left turn. Like you can put in and ask AI to suggest wardrobe. I mean, do you have to put all of your wardrobe pieces in to get it to suggest your wardrobe? I mean, some of the things that
I don't know. I haven't done it. I haven't done it, but maybe I'll try it with a client's stuff and see what happens. Yeah, I don't know.
You know what you can make it do? So I started recently, like with a new trainer, and so she's like, I need you to keep track of your food. I'm like, oh, I don't want to keep track of everything I eat. That's just like the worst. And get an app, and then you have to put the grams and what did you
Oh,
eat
yeah.
stuff. And it's actually working because I'm getting results. But I started using ChatGPT. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to like write it in. And I basically said I had, I write exactly the brand and the thing. I write all the details in ChatGPT of everything I ate, and then it calculates the macros, and then it keeps track of me every day. How many? I basically say my coach told me to eat this much protein, this much fat, this kind of keep track of what I'm eating. So I would add it every day, and I would just add to what I'm eating. And then at the end of the day, it'd say you have 30 calories left, or you have 30 grams left. Here are 3 snacks you can eat to hit your macros for your protein goal. Like it's really good. And it's better than an app where you have to like put in the grams and all this kind of stuff. You can just write it out. Like I had 4 pieces of this, whatever you ate. And yeah, it's really effective. Then it gives me it does me by the day. And then I'll say, like, I'll go do a bunch of other stuff on it. I'll come back. I'm like, give me the whole week. How did I do this week? Where am I under? Where am I over? It's so easy to use. Like I told my trainer, I'm like, hey, did you know you can just do it this way? And then she's like, well, how are you putting in like how many grams of protein you add? I'm like, well, I'll weigh my food, like my protein, because that number is the most important one that I care about. But I'll write like half an avocado. I'm not measuring it. And it'll put it in, but like, or 2 squares of chocolate, and I'll write the brand of the chocolate, everything in it. So it'll find the label and everything. It's incredible.
Well, and
Wow.
really, honestly,
Yeah, it's so cool.
If you're getting 80% of it right in that,
yeah, that's exactly. That's why it's like,
then,
I just need directionally. I just need to be in
Yeah.
the ballpark. I'm not going to be like checking every single thing. Like if I have a half a sweet potato, I'm not weighing the sweet potato. I'm just writing half a sweet potato baked, whatever. It's really cool.
Wow.
It's cool because it can keep track of the day and then keep track of the week. And I could go do other things and come back to it, and it'll give me my numbers.
Okay,
And
but is it going to yell at you and say, get off the couch? I mean, this is
no, it doesn't yell
um,
at me, but my Apple Watch will say it's time to get up. It's
that's
time to
true.
pay
That's
us.
true.
So I got other things yelling at me. I don't have to worry about my chat GPT yelling at me.
I'm going to have to try the wardrobing piece. The thing is with the wardrobing piece is it can tell you all of those things, but it can't put it in your closet. It can't reorganize your closet, and it can't get the clothes and put them on your body in ChatGPT. So there's other components, but I'm going to try that.
But the things that are going to change with it, right? And it's not telling you to go to Sweet Ivy to buy your cute clothing either.
No,
So,
it's not doing
right?
that either.
And if you're not doing that, then you're missing out, right?
Yeah, no,
Our
it's
good
not.
old Sweet Ivy and Galleria, we've got to give her a nice little plug. We love Becky and her whole staff out there. But okay, now we've gone another left-hand turn. That's amazing. And you talk about, the creator industry that's out there, right? And so we haven't even begun to see what is going to be created with this technology.
Yeah, I mean, the sky's the limit. We still don't know. I mean, it's evolving a lot across different platforms of how people are using it for science, for fashion, for other industries, advertising industry, doing creative. Yeah, I mean, it's just like I said, it's a great time to be alive, just to test all this stuff and play around with it.
Tell me this. What do you do purely for the joy of it?
For the joy of what, on technology or in
No,
general in my
no,
life?
just in
In my life?
general in your life. Yeah.
Oh, me? Oh, that's easy. First of all, my happy place is the tennis court. So I want to play tennis if I'm not working all. I wish I could play tennis every day, but I don't do that. My sister, my nephew, my niece, my family, like that's another thing. Like anything I'm doing with them, with the dogs, with my family is number one. And then I really love to travel. I spend a lot of time traveling. Sometimes too much, but I love going home to Egypt. I love seeing my family there, and I have a beautiful home in Egypt that I like to get back to. So, yeah.
That's amazing.
No pickleball, just tennis.
Yeah. Have you
Actually, I do play pickleball. I played on Monday. I play on a Monday night league, but when I'm at the Monday night league for pickleball, the tennis courts are in the same like compound, and then I see it and I get like a jealous girlfriend that I'm not on the tennis court. I'm like, what am I doing? Like this, but I play in the Monday night league with my sister and a bunch of other her friends and my friends. So I do that, but I love pickleball, but I prefer tennis any day of the week. And I also love reading. Like I read an exorbitant amount of books.
Do you actually read a book, or do you
book? Like I have to have it in my hand. Yeah.
Yeah, I see. I have to turn the pages. I have to feel it. I have to have it next to my
Yeah, same thing. I don't do the Kindle thing. I look at enough screens in my life. Yeah, no, I read a lot of books and I own a lot of books. I have an addiction to books.
favorite genre? Do you read what's your favorite?
I love biographies. I like to read people's stories. And then I do a lot of business books, leadership books. And then I like to read Taylor Jenkins Reid and all those kind of fun books. Like I like to read a little bit of everything. I can't do business books all the time. Like there's only so much, stuff out there, but I like reading like whatever the book clubs are putting out. I like to read those books.
Have you had the chance, and I don't even know if it's in book form because I did this on a book on tape because I was driving from California to Minnesota. I guess it really wasn't on tape. Talk about aging myself. Shares by autobiography.
No, I haven't.
Oh,
I heard it's really good, actually.
unbelievable. High recommendation for that.
I should read that.
High recommendation.
They should do a documentary on her. The Billy Joel documentary is insane. If you
Oh my God. Someone
good.
told me to watch that, and I'm like,
It's so good.
Okay.
No, it's so well done. It's just good storytelling. Like I appreciate him, but it's the way that they tell the stories. I have an appreciation for that since that's the business I'm in, but it's just it's a really great way to.
And you learned a lot about him in his early years that, it just helps you realize where he is today. Like, everyone has where they started and where they are today and what's in the middle. Right. And it was really good.
Yeah. I don't know how they edited that. Like when I think about how they edited it to tell that story so that when you're a viewer, you see the arc of a story, that kind of stuff fascinates me to no end. So I'm always looking at, I wonder how did they film that? I wonder how did they edit? I wonder when they sat down with him and did the whole thing, how they went back and filled in those clips. Like I always think about that kind of a process. Cool.
Well, I will look forward to that. I think you'll find the same with the Cher autobiography in just, you had no idea these parts of her life. And the albums that she sang backup on or the people that she
Oh,
was
really?
involved with. It's unbelievable. Yeah. You think of Sonny and Cher, and there's just so much more that goes into it. So, yeah, it's pretty fascinating. How do you set boundaries?
It's easy. I mean, you mean boundaries at work or with friends or in general?
Just you're at an event and people come up and want to talk to you or accost you or introduce themselves to you. I mean, that may or
First of
may
all,
not
first of all,
have happened recently.
oh no, when we were at the event. No, I like people. I mean, the thing about your boundaries is knowing how do you live your life? Like what are the things that are important to you? And so I try to like attract the things I want to have in my life and have boundaries around the things that I don't. Like I used to sweat the small stuff. I really don't. So I always think about like I always look very intently at my schedule. What am I spending my time doing? Who am I spending my time with? How am I spending my evenings and weekends? Like that's how I kind of set my boundaries is by looking at my calendar and focus on what I want to spend my time doing.
Well, and that was a great event. I mean, we were
We
at
had so much fun.
we had Southdale, and you and your sister, it was just so fun to see. Like you were just two girls out shopping at Southdale, having fun, which is
We we walked into the store. So the woman, Jody, who was organizing it, invited
yes,
her. She's her stylist. And
yes, Brittany Mayer, she's amazing.
Natalie, who works at Lifetime, she's the one who I
Yes.
had met. I spoke to like 1,000 employees at Lifetime, the fitness center. And so she invited us too. So we're like, Amy and I were like, let's go to this event. And then they were having this opening of all these shops. And then it was like, my sister ended up winning the prize, the David
She
Yurman.
did.
I know. I saw that. It was in her face. Like she was so shocked.
I was in the store buying something and she's like, I'm gonna go for the drawing. I'm like, I mean, we never win these things. We like, wishful thinking. I was buying something in Montclair and she was out there and she won. So I was like, oh good. So she won the bracelet. It was fun. It was a fun event. It was great running into you guys there.
Well, and Maha, this is me. I think that was Maha. I didn't realize that you still lived in Minnesota. I really did. Other than reading your book and meeting you at IDCOM when you did your book
Yes.
presentation there and being so blown away and impressed. I'm like, I had no idea how Minnesotan you actually were,
Oh,
right?
I'm a local girl.
So I said, I think that's Maha. And so we knew a lot of people there. And I finally asked Jody, is that Maha? Yeah, that's Maha. Like it was no big deal. And I'm like, I was fangirling. That's
Oh,
Maha.
you're so sweet. Yeah, you were so sweet because you're like, we're recording a podcast because we never met. We're like, we're
No.
recording a podcast. And I'm like, great, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
speaking
fun.
of clothes and shopping, okay,
Yes.
as a wardrobe consultant, so you travel a lot, you do a lot of business stuff.
Yes.
How important is it for you to think about what you're wearing
Oh gosh.
when you have to show up? And are you like one of those organized packers? But you said you're not organized, but
I am the queen of traveling on a handbag, which is like I'm very good at efficient at travel. Yeah, I'll tell you, I always used to travel with a suitcase. And then I went on a business trip, my very first big international business trip with Gary Vee. And we were four guys and me, and all the guys and we were in Australia for 5 days of like day and night events, dinners. We were going to Australia and New Zealand. We were like bopping around Melbourne and Sydney, and we were going to all these like several city tour. And I had a suitcase. And when we got to Australia, because we all flew together, everyone got off the plane and they went in the car and they left. And I'm like, I have to go get my bag. They're like, no, we don't do that. Like, we'll leave you if you bring a luggage. Like, we get to the airport, we get in the car, we go straight to our first event. Like, we're not going to wait for you. Like, you have to wait for your luggage to get down to carousel. Like, we're not doing any of that. Go through customs. Like, we're not doing that. So after that trip, I was like, I am never traveling with a suitcase again. And I'll take a handbag, and I got my packing cubes and I plan my outfits and I always think about everything. And especially I go to Dubai a lot. Like I will go to Dubai for, I don't know, a week or 4 days, or go to Egypt. And I do a lot of international trips for 7 or 8 days, and I'll do it on a handbag. And I know how to do it exactly. And I have like morning outfits, night outfits. Like I I plan a lot, like my style and my outfits, especially when I travel internationally, and they're very elegant over there. Everything's very high luxury. So everyone always dresses to the nines. So it's like you can't just rewear things. So you have to be on point and on brand, especially in Dubai and in Saudi. So I always like make sure like I have a game plan for that.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's hard, but you just have
Yeah.
to be smart about how you pack and what you
Right.
accessory.
And exactly. No, I mean, I do a lot of that with clients because a
Yeah.
lot of my clients travel like you do.
Yeah.
And I have a system, and once they figure it out, which is very similar to what you do, it's like it takes so much stress off of them, you know?
Yeah. The thing that takes the most space is the bags, like your
You mean,
handbags.
The handbags.
yeah.
Yeah. Because like, especially over there, you can't wear the same handbags all the time.
Right.
Handbags,
Right.
you got to be like careful about what you take, and and they don't do cross.
So a little tip,
Yeah.
depending on your handbag, is think about this. You can put a handbag in a
Yeah,
handbag.
handbag, I do that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I put my handbag in a handbag, and I put my jewelry in the hand. I mean, I have a whole
yeah.
system. Like
Yeah.
I know how to
Exactly.
hide
So you
things.
got that down. You got
I
that
got
down.
the hiding of the things down. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So your closet then, taking one step backwards, your closet must be quite organized as well.
Yeah, so I hired when I moved into this home, I hired a home organizer who neat little nest. I don't know if you guys know who Michelle is, but she did my house, and I've been living here for 5 years and it looks exactly the same as she left it. Like that's a good investment. You organize your house and everything knows a place to go and all this kind of stuff. So I invested in that, like my pantry, my kitchen, my closet, my laundry room, my storage room, everything. She did it for me. So yeah, I believe in that. My closet is very organized. Yeah.
Do you collect? Do you collect anything when you travel? Are you a collector of anything?
I have a very big sneaker collection.
I love that.
I have a sneaker closet.
I love that.
When people come over, they like to take pictures of my sneaker closet.
Oh, I feel like the doors open. It's like,
Yeah, I have I have a lot of.
Is there a specific brand that you like, or you'll do sneakers?
Yeah,
anyway?
like I have every color Jordans and stuff like that. So like I do sneakers.
Oh my God.
That's great. See?
It's fun. Yeah. And actually sometimes because I speak on stages or stuff, like instead of wearing heels, I'll want to wear sneakers. So like I want to have sneakers that match my suits. It's kind of it's fun.
You're seeing that so much more, which is just fun. And it makes me smile.
Yeah, it's really fun. Sneaker culture is fun.
I love the sneaker culture. I had no idea. I love that. I love that. Okay. I'm going to ask you a couple more. I got one more question, then we're going to get into our nonprofit. But what's the most underrated skill for influencing others today?
Having relationships. Like if you have relationships with people, you will grow far. Because those relationships will bring you opportunities. Those relationships will introduce you to other people. Those relationships can bring you money. Those relationships have influence. When I walk into a room and I can go to a client saying, I have a relationships with all of these people, that makes me very influential. And you can do that too. And if you can build the skill of getting to know people, like when I hire people for my company, I ask them, what relationships are you bringing in with you? Who do you know? Because that's valuable. And so that's something everybody should invest in because your partners, your companies, your employers need to know who you know because that's going to help 10x their relationships.
Mm. Yeah.
It's something that college kids, that's why I give this book to a lot of youth. I want them to learn, like everyone teaches you to compound invest when you're young. If you put away $50 or $25 every month into your thing, by the time you're X old, it'll compound into a lot of investing into a lot of money. Same thing goes with relationships. Build relationships in every age and every stage of your life because the people you make friends with in college might become CEOs of a company or might be your future business partner or your future investor. Like build those relationships at every stage and every age of your life and make those deposits in your trust bank. So by the time you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, you're making deposits and withdrawals from those trust banks.
I have told that to my son over and over because I think that particular generation, for whatever reason, is not doing that.
Yeah.
And I have like done that to my kids since they were little because my business itself is all built on relationships, And
Yeah.
so it is I mean, to me, what you just said is so important.
Yeah, I think the reason why the younger generation doesn't do it is because of social media, right? You push a button to friend or unfriend somebody. Building a relationship is not pushing a button. It's checking up on them. It's showing up for them. It's asking about them. It's doing things with them, giving them your time, being generous with your time, being generous with your words. That's what a relationship is. It's not a friend or unfriend on a button. And so I think it's very disposable, transaction wise.
You know, you're so right. And let's think about that as they age. I think about, if I'm not doing well, I've been having some back problems, and the people that are checking on me to see how things are going. I mean, it's the people you have relationships, right? So if those coming up behind us are not taught this or can't get it, what is that world going to look like as they go through aging and really start having problems?
For sure, for sure.
I love that you're giving the book to younger people and that there's a whole group of young men, it sounds like young men and women who are really getting it and getting the book and learning from it.
Yeah, I mean, there's skills that I think are very important for anyone to learn at any stage of their life, male or female.
And it's such a fun read, and it's so beautifully done. It really is. It really is.
You're a great writer, by the way.
I wrote it myself. Yeah.
To keep my attention like it did was shocking. Like
good. Yeah, a lot of people ask me how it goes through. I'm like, no, I wrote it myself because it's my story. I want to write it my way. It was not, I put all the leadership kind of business stuff in there in the book. And then I was like, I need to bring it to life through stories. And I had like a big Post-it note on the window and the wall, and just wrote like all the stories I wanted to make sure I told and make sure I fit them in. And there's a couple that didn't make it in just because we ran out of room. But I think the stories is what personalizes it for you. I wanted to like make sure people knew I wasn't going to tell the story again. So I was like, I better put it in my first book.
Beautifully done. It's an incredible legacy. Do you think it's your last book? Or do you think you'll have other books?
I'm working on my second book already.
Oh, good. Okay, yeah. Good to hear. Yeah, you have a gift at that. You for sure do. Okay, with our podcast, we always do a nonprofit. And yesterday I had my oldest granddaughter stay over, and then I had to drop her off at summer camp. She's doing a week of summer camp at the Humane Society.
Oh.
And that's who you picked. You picked the Humane Society as your.
I have always loved animals. I'm a dog. I'm a ex-dog mom, but a dog lover. I had a dog. My first dog lived until she was 19. Actually, she almost scored a world record. She was almost one of the longest living Lhasa Apsos on the planet. The longest living Lhasa Apso was 21. Maggie was 19. And then I had Coco and Snickers. I had 2 Shih Tzus. And so my dog passed away in February. It's a very sore subject, but I am on the board of the Animal Humane Society, and I love to help give them a voice. We rescue a lot of animals. During the fires in Los Angeles, there was a lot of dogs and cats that were displaced, a lot of animals that they help shelter. They do incredible missions to help rescue animals, and they have adoption services, clinics, veterinary services, all the things. And so that's the nonprofit that I lend my time to and that I do a lot of work for. And we are doing a big Whisker Whirl event, fundraiser event. I should send you the information if we can include it in the show notes. That would be great.
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
For animals in the fall.
I've donated to that event 2 or 3 times.
You did?
I have a client who sits on the board.
Oh, cool.
And, she's always asked me, so every year I donate closet analysis for them.
Oh, that's amazing.
Someone always buys it, or you know.
They do an auction of things at the end. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. We appreciate that so much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, and listen, they're teaching children how to market and PR, because our granddaughter was on the phone with the aunts and uncles trying to talk them into adopting Ernie, a little dog that she had met there, and she was doing great. And fine, I've been waiting for it, and finally on the way, as I'm driving her yesterday, she said, "Grandma, have you ever thought of getting another dog? We have a Shih Tzu Bichon
She's
who's
good.
12. And so she waited. It's like she waited, timing and everything. I thought, girl, you got it going on here. You're going to be just fine in business. But I asked her last night, I saw her, and I said, did Ernie get adopted? He got adopted. She was very excited. So,
So every time I'm there, they ring a bell and make an announcement when an animal gets adopted. And so, one time we had a board meeting and it went off like 5 or 6 times. I'm like, that's such a nice feeling to see somebody go home with somebody. It's really cute.
it's amazing. Well, thank you for that work. Animalhumanesociety.org is the website.
Yeah.
If people want to get your book or get a hold of you, how do they do it?
Amazon. The book is available on Amazon. You can get it delivered whenever you order it. It comes in the hardcover and the ebook. Paperback will be out soon. And I'd encourage everyone to get a copy of it. And then I do a newsletter on LinkedIn. And if you go to my website, you can join my weekly newsletter that I send to people on email. Ladies, thank you so much for having me. I love the Minnesota stuff. It's so special for me to be on this podcast and to share stories with you guys. And hopefully I'll see you guys at the mall.
Thank you for agreeing to it. The name of your book is
7 Rules of Self-Reliance.
7 Rules of Self-Reliance. Thank you. Well, and if people want to get a hold of us, theviewinyourmirror.com for any more information. We're on most social media platforms. And as we end our show always with a little tidbit, I'm going to quote someone really special who said, the most important story you tell is a story you tell yourself. And that was you, Maha. Thank you for that. And so when you look in the mirror, you tell yourself that you are the best version of yourself and anything is possible. Until next time.
Thank you.